Well, the pandemic is behind us. One aspect of the pandemic appears to be sticking around: remote work. Despite the fact that offices have been open for quite some time, it is still persistent throughout the Canadian economy and workforce. But that divide, having some employees in the office and some working from home, raises questions about how to build and maintain successful teams in this hybrid environment. Joining us now to discuss how to build successful teams is Brendan Caldwell, director at Caldwell Securities Limited. Brendan, thank you for being back with us.
Always great to be here, even if here is, well, remote.
So tell us, what makes a successful team?
I think trust is paramount, and anything as a team member, a team leader, one can do to build trust is very important. To your comment about remote, I think it's a wonderful tool that can make a lot of things more efficient, but everything done in the name of efficiency isn't necessarily good. So yes, certain meetings, offsite meetings, meetings with suppliers or others can be done remotely, but there really is no substitute for the face-to-face contact, for actually being in a person's presence and catching the nuance of body language, of conversation, which is through technology invariably altered when one is talking over Zoom.
Now, unfortunately, conflict is always going to be a thing because everyone has different personalities and different senses of humor and things like that. But how do you handle conflict within a team?
Well, I came to learn in the last number of years to never get in between a relationship that should be allowed to happen naturally. I don't get between my wife and her daughters, try not to get between work relationships that should be allowed to happen naturally. And usually the best way to resolve any conflict is to talk to the person directly. Again, also helpful to be done in person. So my father has a lot of very good expressions, one of which is, if you want to hurt somebody, talk about them. If you want to help them, talk to them. So even face-to-face conflict, even if it is heated, is better than going behind someone's back, or better to have a face-to-face conversation, even with someone you disagree with, than having me step in and pick sides if I'm the leader, because invariably someone's going to feel that they were favored or not favored, or perhaps both parties feel that they were ill-treated, in which case I've probably made the right decision.
Now, as I mentioned, everyone does have different personalities and such. So how would you approach leading your team?
Yes, everyone does have personalities, which has its pluses and minuses. I think the pluses is not everybody's like me, which makes the world a much better place. But everybody has different motivations. I have tried over the last number of years to make a point of having one-on-one conversations with the people that work with us, in much the same way as I would in speaking to my clients, that there really isn't to understand what their hopes and dreams and expectations are, what motivates them, what's important to them is, and how they're doing on that journey. If it is all about work, then the idea that you care about them as a person isn't really communicated. So again, what I said at the beginning was building trust is paramount. Having an occasional face-to-face meeting, it doesn't even have to be more than once a month, but checking in for 15 minutes or half an hour once a month with people who report to me, I feel does mean that a greater degree of trust is built, because the medium is the message, as Marshall McLuhan says. It doesn't matter what we talk about so much, just the fact that as a leader, I showed some interest.
Now, being a new leader on a team can be quite intimidating. So what is the most important advice that you can give to a new leader?
What do they say to brand new teachers? Never smile until Christmas. I'm not sure that's the case. I think, though, organizing people toward a common goal and making the people feel that their contribution means something. There's an old story about a bishop being taken around to see the people doing work on this structure. And one person said they were doing stained glass, another said they were doing woodwork. But finally they got to a stonemason who said, he asked, what are you doing? And said, I'm building a cathedral. So it's not about the specific task, which is important, but how that specific task fits into something big. So if you can inspire people that in fact you are building a cathedral, that they're part of something bigger, a bigger adventure than just themselves, that will do wonders to create engagement. If they can see that there is a benefit to this world in their work going beyond what they're getting paid, that will do an awful lot to build trust, teamwork, collaboration, and not to put too fine a point on it, inspiration.
Brendan, as always, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Theresa.